Palutena Staff. It's big. It's really big. It has spheres and stuff, and it's pretty big. Yep. Made from paper, PVC, foam, and a few other coloring techniques that I haven't used before that you'll watch me learn how to use and suffer in the process. And maybe you'll use the same techniques. Remember, you can always compromise on some materials. You don't have to make it exactly, especially if you're making it for yourself. Or if you want to make this, use what you have. Personalize your own staff. Make it whatever finish you want. This finish came out pretty realistic, not exactly the cartoonish style that the game has or the source material, but I kind of like it. I don't exactly have a material list because I use a wide variety of materials and you can use whatever you have at home. So really there's nothing you really need for this. You can make it out of really anything. You just gotta think about it a little bit before you actually put it into practice. This staff is a pretty fun project. One day I'll probably make the shield and that will go along with this. And in order to check your scaling, if you want to make it yourself, because for me this is pretty tall, but for a tall female, maybe not. But yeah, let's get right into it. Why not? So since we're gonna put the cone in the end, we're gonna taper this so that it can conform to the shape better and have better glue. So this has to be plugged in. Okay. That's good. Yep, if you want to feel that, you can feel that. Ooh. Yeah. Alright, so this should adhere to the cone well. We probably sand this now.
Cone adhesion.
So you're on the tip part, what we're going to do, since it's going to be the bottom, it's going to take all the stress. Put super glue just all over it. Now we got that tip there. We get this accelerator, which is empty, so now we can't accelerate it, we just have to wait, which is fuck. What we're doing is cutting a strip off of this foam that is about 3/4 wide. That's a slight taper to it, but not too loud. I measure the circumference of the circumference around this on the outside is about 10.5 inches. 10.5. Do 10 and 3/4. Cut this at an angle. Now we got like somewhat of a circle. Now we're gonna mold this using heat from a heat gun, and the gun's gonna shoot heat. Probably gonna glue it on using hot glue. So, and then we're just gonna heat this piece up. There's also ceiling foam out there. Now that's a curve that I want mashes to conform to, meaning this should be easier. Here. Yep. Yeah. Boom, we got a circle now. Because I'm really bad at planning ahead, you're gonna see me do this quite often where I forget to explain myself and record myself doing certain steps, so these voiceovers are going to come in every now and then. Basically, I cut out a circle out of foam that is the same basic like measurements, diameters, whatever as the bottom of the cone on the right of the frame. You just grab this and drill this in. Now we got a mark of where we want to cut this. Like that. We go there. Got that cut there, and that is absolutely not. Yeah, there. That seems good. Yep, that'll fit in there like that. Put that in there like that. Hey, so since I'm so good at explaining things, again, I'm making this specific piece right here, and this image. Oh, you want specific measurements for this cone? Fuck you! Okay, I'm kidding. Alright, so I thought I should go into more detail explaining how to make specific cones at specific measurement, because this build has a lot of cones. So, I didn't know how to make cones, like mathematically specific, until I googled it. And there's tools online on making basically templates to get cones to any size that you want. So, say I want this back here, I want that bottom to be 120 millimeters. That's what I made for my bottom. That's the diameter. That's the diameter. The diameter, that's twice the radius. So the diameter of the bottom sort of circle there is 120 millimeters, and there's a calculator online. I'm going to put it in the description, and it is provided by Craig Russell. Thank you, Craig Russell. And it could have been made by Alexander Dyer. Okay, well, there's a calculator online, and basically you just plug in the measurements that you want. So I wanted my bottom at 120, and I wanted my top at 30. I wanted this 30 millimeters wide, 30 millimeters in diameter, and I wanted the length from here to here, not exactly here to here, but height from here to here to be, say, 120 millimeters. So plug that into the calculator, and there's a nice diagram to help show you, and I'll probably throw up an image or something. And what you're going to do is just plug it in, and it'll be a template at the bottom. That'll you're just gonna use those measurements and draw them. You can draw the plate on there. Then you're gonna cut it. It's pretty straightforward. I show how to do it. Yeah, that's how you do it. It's been a while, hasn't it? This project has been on hiatus since like December 19 or something. So, we're doing it again now. My battery's at half. Well, this is what we got so far. I don't know if I recorded updating this part, but these parts are both made out of paper cones because it looks better, and there's still nothing at the end. That was loud. There's nothing on the end still. So that means we have to make the main body part. Dumbass voiceover again. I'm gluing two like 1-2 millimeter thick foam sheets together, I don't even know, so that they're a little thicker so that the accent parts on the little loopy things have more depth. Now I'm cutting out this mill part from the template so that it can be transferred, drawn onto the foam. You'll notice how I'm keeping the end bits attached on the foam. I'm gonna cut these later, but I'm keeping those so that the general shape maintains itself when gluing, it doesn't get warped. No, I lied. In the next few clips you're gonna notice how I completely scrapped that idea as well and just kind of went for it. You can see I'm setting that inside part. That's going to be attached to the handle hole thing, because remember it's convex, so like sand it like that if you can. Now, if you can't tell what I'm doing here, I am heat sealing the foam using a heat gun. This will make it easier to work with, prime, paint, seal, all that stuff. I don't like making cones. Cones are not fun to make. I'm not having fun anymore. I'm not having fun making cones because they have to be a specific measurement and tedious. So there's a calculator for that. I'm gonna get right measurements, okay? I'm gonna get it right. This is literally just a clear acrylic sphere I found at Michael's during Christmas time, and an acetate sheet that I rolled up to the exact width of the hole inside that sphere. Okay, so I have this template, right? But it's not a very good template. I'm pretty sure you have to mirror it, make 2 copies, and you're gonna basically just try to wrap it around the cone, you know, try to make it work, because it isn't exactly exact. So I encourage you to make your own template if you can. Boom, 2mm foam being pressed together with contact adhesive to make thicker foam that the little design on the cone is going to be cut out of. You'll see, you'll see. Um, I don't know if that's in frame. It's just too fucking tall. It's really tall. I think it's too tall. I know it scaled this for Palutena to be like 6 feet, but this is really tall. I think I'm gonna make it not as tall. What I'm doing here is heating up that piece of foam, sealing it, but also making that line at the bottom more distinct. This is also making this piece more pliable as I'm going to bend it around into a circle. And I use contact adhesive on both ends to close it. Those 2 foam pieces at the bottom are about a quarter inch thick, and I don't even know how long, but those are going to be the gem pieces, and that strip is also about a quarter inch thick, and it's going to be like that piece that I just showed, but somewhere else. These gem parts are made out of foam. I'm just sanding them down to shape on the belt sander. You can do this with just a knife, but I am going to further shape it. You also can do that with a knife and some sanding afterwards, but this belt sander just makes it a lot quicker, a lot more easier. And after this, I'm going to seal it with peat. Now that black strip that I showed a few minutes ago, I don't know, it became that. It's a little ring, and now you're just sanding it so that it looks a little smooth and beveled. Oh shit, that crown cone decoration piece thing, it's being sanded to shape. You could also cut it, but this is so tricky and weird and odd of a shape to sand and shape. You kind of just like gotta work around with it, you know, sand it, make it smooth, make it feel organic, and then seal it with heat and stuff. You know, I used various drill bits for this, and a glove for some reason. It was kind of cold, I think. I don't know. It's like it's like the end of August now. This was in February. So yeah, give it a good sand if you want. I mean, like, I don't even know if you're making it at this point. I don't even know if I'm gonna call this a tutorial. Literally just putting on the crown. Yeah, I'm gonna call it the crown with tacky glue. Oopsie whoopsie, looks like I'm gluing those two cone parts together with super glue. That's wacky. Remember that gem piece? Yeah, glue it. Now, I'm doing something a bit wacky here. I made my cones out of paper, and these are bamboo barbecue skewers. I sharpened one and I poked a hole through it. This is how I'm gonna attach the little wing things, you know, like the foam thing at the bottom there. So I'm gonna put a skewer through them, and then I'm gonna put holes in those wings and try to like hold them together, you know, puncturing them, and like, you know, it like stabs through it, and later you will have to go in and like cut it out the center of that cone and stuff. But like, yes, anyway, so I'm super gluing around the holes because it is paper. I want it to be strong enough so that it doesn't tear. But once it gets all glued in, you know, it should be able to hold everything together. Now, since I'm attaching the wings this way, there needs to be some clearance and some cutting, chopping around to make sure it all fits together. So I'm just cutting out some areas for the little ring in between, and I think the angle of the wings isn't exactly perfect, but it's good enough. It's good enough. All right. Boom, zing, pow, I'm attaching those wings through the skewers and with hot glue. Quite a bit of it, you know, because hot glue's good. That should hold it pretty securely, and I'm not gonna lie, this part was incredibly satisfying. Now, I may have ripped a little bit of the cone cover out just so I could reach in there with some scissors and cut out the skewer that was in the middle of it. This does kind of move the wings a little more, as the skewer isn't attached straight through it, but at least you can put the pull through here, as you can see. Now I am adding just wood glue to this build. This will seep into the paper and give a good layer on top of the paper and the foam for any sort of paint, or the coloring method, I guess is what I'll call it, that I'm going to show you soon. Oh man, you know that clear Christmas ornament sphere from earlier? Here it is again. I'm putting glitter in it, you know. Why putting glitter in it? Not good. Tuya, I think that's your name now, I forget. Because I'm going to put paint in it as well. I'm going to put paint over it. And what the glitter is going to do, since the paint is going to be a little transparent, it's going to give it a shimmer, a little glitter effect to be like, oh, it's so cool. It's like a magical glitter galaxy ball that you can see glitter through, and it sparkles, and it's going to be beautiful. It's new mixed media, mixed postmodern irony age art. It's beautiful. It's going to be amazing. This art, I'm creating art here. If you're doing this too, you're also creating art. Now I'm sanding some areas for no particular reason except because I'm stupid and dumb. And because you just, I don't know, you have to sand it, I guess. Some areas, just make it smoother. Some areas have like brush strokes and whatever, but yeah, I also did the bottom, by the way. By the way, everything is glued into place now. Just saying. Yo, we out here using black primer that is either, I think it's flat, I think it's matte black primer, matte black primer. That's like a white person's name. Matte black white. So like yeah, I'm doing that on everything, like a few coats. There's thunder outside. Okay, so for this funky sphere, I span my holding paint hold thing, dangly dinglet danger, and I spinned it, and I used a glossy, but also metallic, sort of like glittery, metallic blue paint that's kind of blue, but dark blue. Yep. Now I'm using the same color on the navy blue glitter areas that are on her staff. These areas here and the handle and a bit of the bottom part. Oh man, so I already got a little started with this gold paint technique that I'm gonna do, and I'm doing gold leaf. So I'm brushing on the gilding adhesive, which is a specific kind of glue. It's an adhesive that is tacky and not exactly dry. Now putting that in the areas that I want the gold leaf to stick to, and typically the gold leaf won't stick to the areas that don't have the adhesive, but you know, it's dumb, it's stupid, and it's bad material, and it doesn't even look that good. It's dumb and stupid, but yeah, so I brushed on the gilding adhesive, and then soon enough I will lay down the gold sheets. I use some brushes and stuff. I use my fingers and my hands. I use the wax paper to transfer it on and just try to put it on the areas. And as you can see at the bottom here, I just gave up on the gold leaf and used this actually really good gold paint. It does take quite a few layers to get on, but it does look very nice, shiny, brilliant afterwards. I'm pretty sure I also used a different paint on top of that. Ignore that gold rub and buff, I didn't use it here. I used it somewhere else, but like on the build. But you know. Gold leafing is a really tedious process. So you say, fuck, I can't see the screen. So we got a little bit of gold here, a little bit of gold there, but it's taking a while. And this is probably the worst medium I've ever worked with. So what I'm doing now is, instead of gold leafing everything in one go, I only have 24 sheets, but the areas that the gold leaf isn't really going down properly in, I am going to fill in with gold. And these, see, edges here, I lined with a gold leafing pen by Krylon. And all the insides here are already painted gold. And basically any small crevices that the gold leaf can't get into, I am painting with gold first. I am going to try to cover everything with gold leaf though, to get a effect that looks, yep. I also, the bottom, I just did gold leaf. I just did multiple layers of some really nice gold paint, and that will suffice, and the bottom is more of a high wear area anyway, so gold leaf probably isn't even the best option there. But besides that, it's coming along. It may take a while, but we'll get done. Boom! Metallic glossy enamel paints on the final gem piece because it looks really pretty. Oh man, it's like 4:30 a.m. and I'm editing this. And, ooh, what am I trying to do with these shots? Oh, they look bad. They look cheesy. They're like tacky. Oh no, what are you doing? Oh, that doesn't look good. Oh man, this is a terrible video that was edited so shittily. What? I really shouldn't have put this off for like half a year. Fuck, this is just not good. But you got the final product here. Anyways, I hope you... Fuck. made it to the end of the video. Thank you for coming this far, and I hope you enjoyed making this, which is taller than me because I scaled it to a tall female, which I am not, unfortunately. For some reason, this really was an easy build. Like, in concept, it should have been a very simple, easy build, but I had some trouble, and rather than just building something, I feel like this was more than just a building experience. There's a lot of learning to it. I found tools online to make my life easier, and I cut corners in some areas, but sometimes you have to compromise to get a product while keeping your sanity. But trying new materials, gold leaf, it looks pretty good. Will I ever try it again? No, I hate this material. It sucks and it's a waste of time, and I don't suggest that you use it unless you have to, or there's a gun to your head and you have to use gold leaf. In that case, you should use it. But yeah, learned some cone mathematics. I learned some cone calculation. I learned some cone calculators that I found online. And yeah, this was built in the winter, so it took some time to make, and it was hard to adapt to the weather and all, but you know, in the end it got done. Yeah, expect more videos to come. I've been putting them off lately. I really don't have a good excuse why, but if you do enjoy these types of videos, you can support me simply by subscribing or liking this video and adding a comment for feedback or questions. That really helps. Any interaction really keeps my social sanity in check as well. Maybe one day I'll also make her a shield. That seems appropriate, but who knows? That's really all I have to say. Yeah. I'm gonna record the intro now.